us. So welcome Aparna, welcome Banu, and we will have a lot of perspective learning from them and also understand. And they are here to enable us with a different perspective of how to create a belongingness and inclusion for everyone and everywhere across the organizations globally. So without any ado, let me hand it over to Vikram to introduce our guest and we'll take the conversation forward. Over to you, Vikram.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. And again, hello, everyone. I'm equally excited as what Sandeep expressed his emotions to have a distinguished guest amongst us and all of you, who have taken time out to be part of this diversity dialogue. So now I have the privilege of introducing a very well-known face in the Indian construction industry to all of you. So without much delay, let me introduce her to all of you. Uh, Aparna Reddy is the Executive Director of Aparna Enterprises Limited, a flagship company of Aparna Group, which has grown to become one of the leading players in the country within building material segment. Under her able guidance, Aparna Enterprises continues to grow and is today a highly diversified enterprises involved in the production and trading of a wide range of building material products. Aparna Reddy, for her leadership, she has received various awards and recognition. A 40 under 40 award by Times Group, Black Swan Award for her women empowerment by Asia One, India's most inspirational leader by White Page India, and Woman Entrepreneur by award by Z Business. Being a second generation businesswoman, Aparna paved her own way to gain trust and acceptance in her company. It's people that matters at the end of the day, and I could continue to contribute to the company's growth for them to accept me. This is what she says. Closely involved in streamlining of the company's highly diversified operations, Aparna was put in charge of various operations, finance, IT, HRM. Due to her unrelenting drive for setting high standards, Aparna Enterprises Limited has been able to sustain multifold growth over year on year. Aparna Reddy holds a degree in Electronics and Communication Engineering from MJCET College and has undergone master's program at Indian School of Business. Aparna draws her inspiration from her highly successful father. Apart from work, she loves to spend as much of her time possible with her three young children and family. Thank you so much, Aparna, for being with us for this discussion today.
Thank you, Vikram. Thank you, Hilti team, and thank you for the wonderful preamble. I'm glad to be part of the discussion today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Sandeep.
Thanks, Vikram. And let me introduce our other distinguished guest today. We have Banu, General Manager of Hilti Turkey. And Banu has been selected as a 50 female CEOs of Turkey by Economist magazine consecutively for 2 years. She has also been awarded as a sales leader by the Sales Network Organization, which is a phenomenal achievement in our construction industry. Joined the Women Board and on the board association in Turkey, making construction better with her team with over 20 plus years of experience in management, marketing, sales, and operations. Banu also is a certified coach and a mentee for Women on Board Turkey, a program that supports senior female leaders to be ready for a board membership. She holds a civil engineering degree from ITU and also Masters in Business Administration MBA from Douglas University. Banu's favorite time is always to spend whatever the available time, being the industry leader, to spend it with family and friends. So welcome, Banu, and thank you so much for the time given to us.
So we
Thank
have
you.
to.
Thank you, guys. And I'm also impressed by Aparna's introduction. I'm so happy to meet you, all Hilti India team, and also Aparna. I will also learn from you. It's a great day for me too.
Nice. So we have two ISB alumni. Sandeep is also from ISB. Yeah, great. So let's understand from both the guests. Sandeep, should we go ahead with the set of questions with the the guests?
Absolutely, yes, yes. We
Okay,
can.
great. So so what we will do is I'll ask questions to both the leaders, right? And I request them to share their thoughts, right? For like I keep asking, and then Sandeep keep asking questions, and that's how the conversation we keep building. And through this, I'm sure everybody keeps getting enlightened with their experiences, right? So the theme that we are talking about is creating sense of belongingness at workspace, that we all are here, right? So my first question to Aparna would be, why do you think belongingness and inclusion is so important for today and for future of work?
So, as you mentioned, like I'm a second generation entrepreneur. So, um, the thing is like when you are, so I've started leading the company full-fledged with all the departments like from past 5 6 years. Prior to that, the first generation was pretty active in the business, and later on the first generation moved out and said like, now it's time, some the it's like passing on the baton happened. So I understand to keep employees motivated, also first of all you need to believe in your vision and the goal for the organization. Once you strongly believe this is where I would like to take where the ultimate goal is, then you can build it up from there. An employee joins an organization with various background. They may have different culture, they may have different background, and they may work with previous organizations with whatever experiences it. But once they join the organization, they need to align themselves with whatever the goal of the organization is. That can be driven strongly to the bottom layer of the organization only if you start believing and working towards the direction. I always feel it's the top-down approach. It's not that no one will come into the organization saying like this is how it is. You need to constantly train and also empower each and every employee who's been part of the organization and motivate them towards that single direction. Like if you take any sport, any team sport, that's how the team wins, right? The captain or the coach motivates them. This is what the ultimately we have to do. Not every time you're gonna win, but the thing is like you have to be motivated and keep pushing it day in and day out. So somewhere you'll be there. So sense of inclusiveness is also important. Is very important in today's generation. Any generation, it's important because unless and until and every employee is being respected and cared about, what is it unempowered. That sense of responsibility and ownership doesn't come. If the sense of responsibility and ownership doesn't come, it becomes very difficult to make them align to a single goal. So that's where we believe in, and it's not an easy thing. So we have to drive towards progress every day.
Wow. I mean, so true. I think it's not about a one-day work, right? Getting a belongingness achieved is not one-day work, and then it is a consistent efforts that we all have to put. And as you rightly said, if belongingness is not felt by each and every employee in the organization, maybe the results that we are expecting may not be there. It is not aligned together. Right. So thank you so much for sharing those thoughts, Aparna. How about you, Banu? What's your take on it? How much it is important,
Yeah,
belongingness in the organization?
I mean, I always like to use the analogy about, dancing, and let's look at that analogy. Diversity is being invited to the party, and inclusion is being asked to dance floor, and belongingness that you can dance however you want and with your unique self, and nobody judge you. Okay, so basically diversity is the first step that create different backgrounds, different thoughts, and also different geographies, different families at the end of the day, we really want to see the diversity in workplace, in also our life, and because diversity is everywhere. But however, using that brilliant diversity can be only achieved if there is an inclusion and everybody is invited to be talked. And at the end of the day, if you look at our success and the base of our success in Hilti, everybody is heard, and we are basically using those different ideas, different thoughts for creating our innovation. And that's good. Then how the employees feel belongingness. Then I'm coming from a very middle income family that and you know, my father was teacher, my mother was at the end of the day housewife, and I had two siblings, older sister, older brother. But at the end of the day, if you can achieve and you thrive something and you found a place that you can nurture your potential, which I found it with Hilti. I'm 22 years of Hiltian. And then you feel the sense of belongingness, and you can also spread that as a role model. So maybe I can add that what Aparna said.
Wow. I mean, so we have very diversified thoughts and experiences here. A voice which is very strong in Indian construction industry, and a voice which is very strong, made loud noise in Turkey, right? And so I recollect, like, what while you said, Banu, so you coming from the middle class family and then now leading as a GM of Hilti, Turkey. And at the same time, as Aparna mentioned in her opening remarks, that carrying the legacy of Mr. S.S. Reddy, and then the Aparna building, the high expectations are there on both the leaders, and we are talking about belongingness, how we bring that belongingness here, right? So thank you so much for sharing those thoughts. Yeah. Sandeep.
Yeah, thank you, Aparna and Banu. Banu, this question is for you, and Aparna can also add on top. How inclusion is driven in the organization, and what could leaders do to enable the implementation?
I guess, as Aparna said, all these things are building up, day by day. You cannot come up one day and saying that, okay, we will focus on inclusion and it will happen like a KPI, okay? At the end of the day, for creating an inclusion, a company has to have a very strong culture, which is already settled from the top and lived by top, and also coming to the down, and of course aligned purpose. At the end, everybody is running after, like our purpose, making construction better. So if we can put everybody behind for that purpose, and if you have a unique and strong culture, and as leaders, if you are always encouraging the people who are not talkative like the others to invite the silent one also to discussion, then it will happen. Because at the end of the day, guys, everything is, if you look at inclusion, if you look at belongingness, everything is at the end of the day form of communication. And if you use that communication, where to talk, where to listen, where to invite, and how to, at the end, put all these things together to create an idea at the end, is the inclusion for me. So if I look at my teams and my experience, I had times I didn't feel included while I was the only female in the room, because I had the tendency, should I talk? Shouldn't I talk? If I talk too much, if I'm seen too extrovert, if I'm not talking, would I be seen too cautious? So when you are a minority in a group, I mean, for creating inclusion, there shouldn't be a minority. And for not being minority, it has to be at least those group of people should be 30% in a group. And first, nobody would be minority. I'm looking at now gender perspective. If there is a room with 10 people, at least 3 of them should be women in order to create an inclusive environment and not to be judged. So there are many things, but definitely it's not a KPI. It cannot be done like this. It's, it's a constant and consistent effort that as leaders we should show. And this would be but again, even though there might be good intention, if you are minority, you would feel not included. And that's why diversity is the first to be applied.
Great, Banu. So it is more like bringing in the balance between the two, more like we bring in the diversity so that the inclusion is also taken care of, balancing the
Exactly.
imbalanced phenomenon. Fantastic. Thank you
Exactly.
so much for that.
Thank
Aparna,
you
can you
too.
please, yeah, Aparna, can you please add us with your thoughts on this?
Yeah, thanks, Banu. So I see there are like around 140, 135 people join this conversation. So among this number of people, I'm not sure how many are women employees or women in this group, but definitely it will be a minority, I'm sure. So the thing is like, I being the only child, and it's the opportunity is not just given because I'm the only child. That's not necessarily it should be the way it is, but I've been raised like that. So one thing which I strongly believe is like the opportunity, irrespective of women or male candidate, I'm sure 5 years, 10 years down the line, there'll be only leaders. It can be a male or a female. You are a leader if you can run the show. So even in an employee, you can scale up the path if you can express or voice out your opinion. We run a lot of programs in the company as well, saying like, we have women oriented training programs running, we have posh kind of workshops going on and all those things. But one thing I strongly opine is like for the women, if they want to grow up or climb up the ladder, they have to leave this attitude of like, oh, I am a woman, I need a special privilege. That's not possible. This is a very tough world. You need to fight it out no matter what. So if you give your best shot, I'm sure you will be heard. Initial glitches will be there, but I think Globe is going towards that norm, saying like, equal opportunity should be given for each and everyone. So when the opportunity is given, you should grab that opportunity and prove yourself. Especially I'm telling this to the women employees, because if that instinct is quite clear, you will definitely do it. So we have to fight, we have to show our skills, leadership skills or decision making skills. So you will be definitely heard. So I'm sure the most of the organizations going forward, even today, they're giving an equal opportunity. So women has to utilize that opportunity and climb up. So that's how it is.
That's a profound thought, and I can seriously see the commonality in the thought process for both the leaders. It is like Banu was talking about bringing in the balance where there is imbalance, extrovert, introvert. Are we allowing people to talk? And you also spoke about Aparna, like, are we consciously striving to bring the minorities, or as you rightly commented, in the number of team members who have joined, how many are women? Are we bringing in that belongingness, that inclusion? So I would say that's a phenomenal similar thoughts that are coming from the leaders. So thank you so much for the perspective.
Superb. I mean, so many different thoughts and experiences, different experiences, but it is, leading towards one particular, thought, right? So I was reading one of the interview, Aparna, that you had given somewhere, and then you had mentioned over there that people, as long as you are a leader in the organization, people expect from the leader. It's not about what gender the leader is. You are a leader, and then you need to make things happen. And it was so thought provoking, actually, right? So at the same time, you were whatever you were sharing to all our colleagues here that women, if you're expecting a special something that need to happen and then things will be, then only you'll be able to make it. It's not so, right? So thank you so much for sharing. So I have my next question to you only, Aparna, and then maybe Banu can later share her experience. And this question is, now as a business leader, if you can share some experiences on how driving the topics of diversity, equity, inclusion have resulted in some better business outcome. So how much this business outcome means, and then your experiences as a leader driving these topics in the organization.
So yeah, when we talk about the diversity, it's like so India as such is a diverse country. So we, as an organization, we are still a domestic. We are still concentrating only in India right now. We may go international next year, but predominantly we work in the domestic market, and we are present in almost in all the states in the country. So I have people from different backgrounds, different culture, different religion, different age group. That's another problem that I have, because I have 20s, I have 30s, I have 60s, I have 50s also. So I understand working with different age group, different culture. It's quite a challenge. It's not an easy thing. So people do ask me, like, you spend full time 8-9 hours to 10 hours in the office. Do you go do sales, or what is it that keep you occupied so much in the office? Like 6 days, we are 6 days a week. So 6 days a week. So most of the time goes in bringing the everyone under the same platform, right? In like, aligning them towards the common goal. See, we have a lot of things happening around, like, we have different teams working on different product lines, and we will have a lot of conversations, meetings going on. So working with different age groups and different culturally background people is really tough. So I've been progressing towards that direction. So at this point of time, I can comfortably say, like, I've understood and learned how to sail through those challenges. So what we specifically do within the organization is, like, we also allow a top leader, whoever is like running the show, to showcase or implement their ideas well into the system. We don't oppose it in the initial stage. Few ideas may be successful, few ideas may fail also. But if they fail, they'll come back and say, oh, I should have thought about it, or I should have listened to you saying it. If it is successful, they'll be, everyone will be happy. So as an organization, as a promoter driven organization, we encourage people or top leaders to go, let them challenge themselves. We give them the freedom to experiment if they think that will be successful. So that's where they feel that sense of belongingness getting into it. If you can't micromanage, so we don't micromanage. It's like, if it is too much of a thing for an organization, if it is a financially big impact gonna happen, then we'll caution them. But we don't micromanage, because we identified them, we onboarded them, thinking they will bring some kind of a fresh perspective and new direction to the company. So we understand that, and we give a freedom to the leaders who ever join us on board.
I mean, as a leader, you create an ambience, and then you allow team members to share their ideas and encourage them to implement those ideas, even though at times it can be a bit risky business, but you do a calculated move so that they do their work and they may be successful. It is good. Or if they fail, also they learn it. But in this process, you are saying you are able to achieve belongingness to the top leaders who are there driving the business.
yeah, if they're allowed to implement their own ideas, they take a lot of responsibility.
Hmm. So you are sharing the ownership.
Yeah, obviously you're sharing the ownership. Your idea, you're
And
implementing it, so you have to take the full responsibility of it.
wow. Thank you so much for sharing the thought, Aparna. I think this message is for there are so many women leaders here also in who are listening here, who is attending. I'm sure this is a very good takeaway, in terms of creating a belongingness and allowing team to work. Right? Thank you so much, Aparna. And how about you, Banu? What's your thoughts?
First of all, before then coming to Hilti Turkey, there are many research. If there is a team who is diverse, they are likely to have 19% better bottom line, and they have better retention, and definitely employees are having less sick days, okay, because they feel belonging and they feel embraced at the end. So if I look at Hilti Turkey, I'm the GM of Hilti Turkey for 5 years. And, we had pandemic time, we had difficult times, then we had glory times. And if we decided to have gender diversity to pick as a first thing, because 95% of our employees are Turkish, 5% are Russian and from that area due to our some projects. And many of us are engineers, and we feel like only engineers can do Hilti business. Actually, it's not the case, but we had that bias. So last 4 years, we decided to diversify a little bit, our teams with gender diversity and as well as different educational backgrounds, okay? So basically, last 3 years, we are growing in sales in actual exchange rate, because in Turkey, you might know, we have a huge devaluation and inflation issue. That's why we are looking at only actual exchange rate. Last 2 years, we are growing around 35%, and our bottom line is growing even better than that, okay? And I can easily tell you, if you have a right mix of people, not only about gender diversity, but also from background, from education, from different thoughts, then those teams are having better results if the team leader is a good one to have inclusive behavior and hearing everybody, okay? So we already, as an example, that we are happily, delivering our financial results. On the other hand, our GEOS result, our engagement score of our employees last 3 years, 86, 81, 87, which is way above than top quartile, and inclusion levels as well. So there is a definitely correlation that we cannot neglect. But however, the looking at diversity, inclusion, belongingness, and equity is an business ethical issue. It's not a KPI. So if you have that mentality and mindset and doing, one step at a time, not to rush, not to slow down, but really, do it in a consistent way, then people are definitely see that. And look at our foundation, guys, Hilti Foundation. Passionate and inclusive global team, caring and performance-oriented culture. And at the end of the day, with that, we can go through our helix and making construction better, right? And that's why our foundation has to be so strong. And if you have the right people, if you have the right leaders to, create that inclusive environment, then all the rest is easy. And I fully agree with Aparna. The empowerment is important, taking responsibility of what our employees are doing. One of my boss was saying, it was a little bit harsh, but I remember that sentence all the time. I want to know if there is a success, who to celebrate, and if there is a fail, who to, fire. So at the end of the day, we are all responsible for our own actions, and we have to deliver as well in our responsibility. So I guess this is it, from my side. I would add what Aparna said.
Wow. I mean, thank you so much, Banu, for sharing. You actually said the outcome of the business, right? You also said the engagement rating of the employees, and how that, and you gave that credit towards the good work that as a leader and as a team that you all have worked towards diversity, equity, and inclusion. You just connected these dots. The growth in absolute value are the engagement score, and then the efforts that you have put. And
exactly.
yes, the fundamentals need to be very, very clear. These are not the KPIs, the diversity, equity, inclusion. And
but
when
I need to put one remark, maybe Vikram, then my boss's sentence. Hilti is at the end trying to help, even you are failing, because we have also that safety net. You can also fail, try and fail, and we can fix it. So that's why I found that so harsh at that time. But yeah.
So yeah, but again, this thought that you shared just now, Banu, and what Aparna has also responded, the leader enabling people, the immediate other leaders to go ahead and do things, and then make things happen within the safer ambience, right? The safety net that you are saying, the safer ambience that Aparna is saying, it's so much correlating, and then the belongingness increases, and then things goes well. Thank you so much for both of you sharing those questions.
And Vikram, I'll also say that the profound thought on the correlation between the exchanges more to do with, it's not only on the safety net, like what Aparna was talking, we enable somebody to take that ownership so that the belongingness automatically comes inherent. And they have that ownership and they have the accountability of that. Thank you so much for that thought process. And Banu, I have the next question for you, and I'll also request Aparna to add on. What is your advice to the emerging professionals? Because we have the entire team connecting in today. So we would also like to learn, like, what is your advice to the emerging professionals to adapt and leverage through belongingness and inclusion mindset?
I mean, I'm always looking at the situation that, first of all, being a positive person, okay? Because world is tough. The environment is tough. What's going on each and every country is madness. Within that environment, we need to keep ourselves calm and positive. Okay, it doesn't matter you are a leader or you are an employee, you are a mom, whoever you are. Okay, we need to create that inner peace for ourselves to start with. So, and I'm personally not a positive person by born, okay? I'm a very depressive and relatively negative person intrinsically. But over the years, I had to teach myself to be calm, to, try to see the positive sides of everything, and also being grateful, what I have every day. And it's helping. This is the first step for everything for me, okay? And for emerging world leaders, second thing is resilience for me. At the end of the day, we know that we will fall, but we have to come back again, even stronger. And I lived 2 years in South Africa. I was the head of marketing South Africa and Sub-Saharan region with Hilti again. And that's why I really relate with Nelson Mandela a lot. I like him as a leader. And he has a saying that, being strong doesn't mean that you never fell, but being strong means you will, stand strong again after you fell. So for me, this is resilience. First, being positive. Second, being resilient. And third, curious. I mean, we need to be curious, and what are the trends? What is happening around us? How I can, develop myself. So this is the third thing. And in the work environment, how I can contribute better, how I can develop myself, and how I can contribute better. Because I'm getting the question, how I feel belongingness to a company in 22 years, okay? And I came here 25 years, now I'm 47, and I'm happy to be here, and I want to, at the end, retire from Hilti. And why is that? Because I feel developed each and every position that I took. This is my 9th position in 22 years. And I feel always my contribution is valuable and I'm giving something that company needs. So if you have that combination, positive attitude, resilience, developing yourself and contributing to your environment, work environment, and also with, social surroundings, I mean, you are the most successful person in the earth. And then you feel belongingness.
That's really, really interesting, Banu. It's like enabling self first to be positive, then being resilient, and then taking it forward. Aparna, can you please help us with your thoughts on the question?
You need to unmute, Aparna. Yeah.
My signal is fine.
Oh,
So I have similar thought process like what Banu has. One thing which I keep telling my team also I would like to share here. We have so much innovation happening across the world. There's an AI coming up, there's chat GPT, and there's a lot of things happening around the globe. So one thing which we need to understand as an individual and work towards is like, first of all, we need to start innovating ourselves to create value to our family, enterprise, and society at large. If we work towards this direction, I'm sure this is the best thing any individual can do. So start innovating ourselves. So in the sense like you need to unlearn and learn things as you keep moving forward. Adaptation is very important.
Thank you so much for that. Like it is also the same, like the same similar thoughts. Like Vikram, what Banu also shared, we can see a lot of commonality in the thought processes here. Innovating self so that we adapt. First, we have a checkpoint to ourselves so that we innovate and we be future ready. Being a future ready leaders to enable that happen across the board is something that is very, very interesting. Thank you so much, Aparna. Thank you so much, Banu, for that.
yeah, a lot of similarities again, right, Sandeep? So
Correct.
my next question is again to you, Aparna, and then Banu can answer. So, like your advice is very super clear, so that you need to be innovative and you need to be adaptable. Because at the same time, there are certain inherent biases. So how does inherent biases disturb the dynamics on inclusion? And if you can help us with any checkpoints here.
So inherent biases is bound to be there in the organization. That's how diversification also comes. So so the thing is like when you're working with human beings, right? So you don't. I'm sure most of us don't agree with your partners or your parents or with your kids. So conflict will happen, confrontations do happen, but whatever it is, it has to reach towards the common goal. That's what I've been trying to tell since the beginning of the conversation. So inherent biases to overcome, it's like we as an organization have involved in a lot of training sessions. We include even the top leaders also. We try to focus on that single point agenda. This is where we need to work. So whatever we have, opinions we have, first go back and check whether it makes any sense for the organization growth or not. That's the first question any individual should ask. If it is making sense, then yeah, put it across. Otherwise, your personal biases or your personal choices, if it is not helping anywhere, so let's not do it. So that's where this doesn't come, as I said, with one or two discussions. We have to keep progressing towards that. So for that we have a lot of training sessions happening within the organization.
Good. So it is important, maybe the training sessions that you conduct are kind of a checkpoints that, so we are having a clarity that these biases are removed at various levels. And one of the simple thing that you said is that whether whatever we are doing, is it in the right direction? Is it we are doing what the organization wants? So if it is not, it is something different, then there exists another checkpoint for that, right? Thank you. Thank you so much, Aparna, for sharing thoughts. How about you, Banu?
I guess it's very similar what Aparna said, but we had recently meeting about our DEI diagnostic in Hilti, okay? How we are doing in terms of diversity in Hilti, Turkey. So we found a couple of, blind spots to, where to focus. But also for me, we all human beings have our biases. First of all, we need to accept that, okay? It's coming from families, coming from parents, coming from, schools. At the end of the day, I studied civil engineering. My mom wanted me to be a teacher, to be able to comfortable and having 2 months vacation, and why I'm being an engineer. Okay, my father was an more ambitious guy that he supported me, but always in Turkey, and I see many similarities with India and Turkey from some of the cultural and traditional perspective towards women and men. Okay, and for female, if you study university, being teacher or pharmacist would be great, because pharmacy, if you have money, you will be pharmacist and you will your own shop, and if not, you should be teacher. So we had all those biases, and we were raised with those biases. Where the boys are maybe treated better than girls, in some of the families, some of the communities. So we need to be aware of it. So everybody has biases, regardless, myself, yourself, Aparna, whoever, we have that. The important thing, how to deal with that and how to become a better human being and become more ethical person in that sense, being aware. So what we did 3 years ago, when we started that diversity discussion, we had a consultant. She came. We had workshop as executive management team, and we realized we had many biases specifically to women, even as women in construction industry. We had that. And then we had same workshop with our mid-management. And then we had a couple of discussion rounds with all our employees, okay? And we discussed again and again, and I told yesterday with Vikram, and and Sandeep, when we had a small chat. And at the end of the day, I had the question to my male colleagues: would you like your daughter to work a company like Hilti? Would you feel comfortable if your daughter would work for Hilti? And at the end of the day, this is what we want to achieve. If you feel comfortable with your sister or your daughter work in Hilti and you feel perfectly comfortable, then this is the thing that we achieve, okay? So for me, think about your biases. If there is a discussion and you feel that bias is, coming up, just try to balance yourself. And if you see that bias come up from a different person, ask a question: what make you feel like this? What make you think like this? Not to attack, but try to understand. Because what I see in workplaces, everybody is now too softy on these topics, because now we think that everybody has to think on diversity thing, similar, but maybe we need to make the other person understand that he or she has a bias. Okay, so that's why before then attacking, you cannot say this because I mean, let's try first whether it's intentional or only subconscious. So I would only suggest that it's a long way. We all walk through together, but we are mindful and we are striving for better.
Wow, what a way to put forward these thoughts, Banu. So inspiring, right? A simple question. Are you okay to send your daughter to work in the Hilti, right? And unless and until we treat this as a family, right? We keep saying organization is a family. And then your question is straight towards that. Are you considering it as a family where your daughter is safe to go and come and work? Maybe I will extend that to one more and add one more question to others. So same question, like, will you send your son to work for Hilti also? Right, when we are talking about inclusion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
If he wants, why not? But I have 18 years old son, by the way. I mean, I'm so smiling and my eyes even, yeah. Because he will go to university and he doesn't want to study in Turkey. So I feel already bad, because we will be apart soon. So, yeah.
So so the family, when we are talking, right? So we have biases at house, like what Aparna said, as a like the husband and wife, and then children, and then fathers, the way we have been parenting and parented in the past, and so how things are happening, we carry those experiences and we end up having certain assumptions. So it is important that we break those assumptions and come out clear, and something happens, the checkpoint what you are directing is, ask first yourself and then ask them, get it clarified, and then move forward. So by having such checkpoints, we are effectively creating a belongingness, right? So we are celebrating the inclusion. I think that's the beautiful thoughts you shared with us, Banu. Thank you so much for that. So while we are here at this point, we can be open for the questions from the audiences as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Anu and team can help us if there are any questions that are coming up. So you have now the opportunity directly ask the questions to the guests.
Yes, Vikram. And while we can chat, we can put it in the chat so that one of the only team member can read it out, or you can also ask directly. But that's very, very clear, Vikram, that what Aparna and Banu also spoke about, it is like one thing I liked is the diversity comes from these biases. I took it as a notes because yes, that's also a very different perspective. Yes, the diversity actually comes from these biases. Let's also be aware of those biases so that the experiences and the exposures made a person how he or she is thinking today, and to be consciously asking that question. Because Banu, you were mentioning about that courage to ask, hey, why are you thinking like this? So that also comes from when somebody feels belonged. So that's like really, really interesting. Yanu, would you like to go ahead?
Yes. Hi, Aparna. Hello, Banu. My name is Anu, and I'm working as an area sales manager in Hilti in India. Well, this one is for you, Aparna. I hope you don't mind taking it up. As a leader, so Aparna, as a leader, you must be having a huge big team, and the team always looks up to you, for inspiration, for support. So I just wanted to understand how do you meet this expectation? Because currently in my present role, also I'm a team leader and I have a small team to manage. So if you could help us understand and all of the team leaders understand.
Okay. Hi, Anu. Nice meeting you. So the thing is, like, one thing one thing you need to learn is like discipline yourself. So consistency and discipline is one thing you need to work towards, and also always be positive. Business, you should understand, even work, business, whatever it is, 90% of your time will be a bad day. So you'll only have 10% of the good days. You should understand and accept the fact. So once you accept that fact, then the things will keep moving on. If every day is a good day, then I mean, no one is there to control us. So you'll have 90% of your time things going wrong and maybe not up to your expectations. But no matter what, if you want to perform better in the work, your personal life also should be highly disciplined. That's what I believe in.
Sure,
Thank you.
Anu, you would have got the answer from Aparna. It starts from us and discipline, and then leading. And thank you so much, Aparna. So we have so many women leaders within Hilti India. You'll be very happy to know. Maybe sometimes when I meet, I'll give you more information like how we are working. You'll be very happy to know the question that you asked in the beginning, like we have 138 so people and how many here are women. So it's a nice thought, and this is something which as our leaders and Hilti India we keep asking ourselves. So how much we are working towards that, right?
Yeah.
So Anu, are there any questions that are coming? You can please do let us know. So we have 7 more minutes. We can utilize that. But meanwhile, thank you so much. You both took time from your busy schedule, and I'm sure that the audiences here, whoever have attended, would have got so much of information, and that works in every day-to-day work that they are doing, right? And so one of the things that you both were also mentioning, key, repeatedly use the word humans. At the end of the day, we're all dealing with humans, right? And so we might come up with certain biases, but it is important that we self-aware all of them and then move forward.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if there is no question, I have something. In that training with the consultant in the workshop, we realized there is also so much pressure on men, because they have to take care of family, they have to bring the money. So the subconscious mind, and they cannot be weak, they have to be seen always strong, this and that. And then we realize we are putting a lot of pressure on men as well, while we have those biases. So basically that training brought many blind spots for us, and we are celebrating November for this month in Turkey for getting attention of male cancers and also psychological issues because of that pressure on men. At the end of the day, guys, we are so stronger together with women, men, next to each other, shoulder to shoulder. Then we have to always think about it, regardless of, male, female. And I fully agree with Aparna, creating a privilege for female, because nobody want to be seen as brought to that position. We have to earn and deserve whatever we get.
Yeah.
There's a question from Barsha. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Banu and Aparna, for such an engaging session. Since we are talking about diversity, inclusion, and equity, and all of us from the construction industry, I want to understand your perspective, because you both have been leaders in and associated with the construction industry. How do you think we can bring in good talent or more talent, especially for construction industry? Because we see the representation is somewhat not that great. But what would be a key thing which we can work on as leaders, and that will help in bringing more talent, more resources to our industry.
Should I take it first? I mean, let me,
Yeah,
maybe I can give a couple of examples what we are trying in Turkey, and also let me give, information. Now, our female share is 30% in Turkey. Our executive management team 50%, and in mid management 1/4. Okay. But we have still issues specifically in sales leadership when we talk about not being minority anymore. But what we are trying to do is, first of all, not look at the talents only from engineering background and civil engineering background, because in Turkey, civil engineering and the mechanical engineering, only 10% of the students are female. So like you said, the pool is quite small. Therefore, we are looking at a bigger pool, other engineerings, and also, not engineering. And second, we have the mentorship program for female students to help them from beginning of their career, and see if we can continue with some of them as Hilti employees. And we have also internship program for sales and marketing, which we specifically choose female student to develop within. And sometimes I'm getting the question, isn't it unfair? Then I say, no, it's not, because up until now, what female had was unfair. So we are trying to correct it. So therefore, we are trying to bring from entry positions. And also now we started to inject people from also mid-management level, not only female, but also male, because we have also biases that all leaders should raise from within, right? Especially, and now we are also trying to break that bias from our side. And as female leader, I'm quite visible on social media, on panels in different occasions, to be also seen as a role model to create a better talent pool that they might strive being part of Hilti.
So thank you so much, Banu, for answering that question, Barsha's question. So there's one more a question that has come, if I may read on behalf of Nikita. So she says, women need to work twice harder to grow and reach what they aim for. Do you also believe in this statement? And have you experienced any such situations? So this question is for both. Maybe Aparna, if you want to answer. Women need to work twice harder to grow.
So in my personal experience, I can say, in my personal experience, I don't think so. Women has to work twice as hard as man to prove things. If you have the talent, you'll be definitely recognized. So I don't think so. But you need to understand where to put your energy. So there's certain job roles which women can excel a lot. There's certain job roles where man can excel a lot. So you need to understand your core competency and works towards the direction. So I don't think so you need to put double effort there. Finance is something women can understand better. HR is something women can do it better. Sales is something. Purchase is also good avenue where a women can do a better job. Negotiations. There's certain skill set where women can definitely do wonders. So I think you need to understand that forte and work towards the direction. See, as a human being, like, you also have to understand you cannot be on top of the game in all the activities that you do. You only have to carve your niche in whatever you can do the best. So you just have to understand that early on your career and start working towards the direction. So definitely double the effort is not required at all.
Wow, what an excellent answer by Aparna. She actually said There are multiple positions which are where women does much better than men, right? Not that women has to do twice the, who has to put twice the effort. So completely change the goalpost. And that comes with an experience about a person like Aparna who handles all these functions also, majority of these functions, at Aparna Enterprises. Thank you so much, Aparna. We will
So
take one last.
adding to this point, I have to tell that even though I run the show, I certainly take help in the areas where I don't have an expertise. I go back and say, please, I don't have an expertise. Someone has to help me in this regard. So there's definitely a way forward for it. You can't be like 100% good at everything that you do. So you need to take an external support. So for that, you just have to understand what are you good at it and then work in that direction. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Aparna.
Maybe I can add only one thing here. My answer is yes and no. And why is that? I guess, yes. I mean, there is no need for female to work, twice. However, female feels like this. Again, it's coming from biases. If you look at a position, open a position, and if a male is ready 50 to 60%, they would definitely apply. It's coming from researchers, guys. And for female, she has to feel at least 90, 95% to be ready to be even considered to apply, okay? So that's why as females, you should understand your biases. Do you feel like this? And if yes, try to change it. Work on your, intrinsic thoughts. This is important because you need to also raise your hand. You need to also ask for it. And, of course, from both sides, work hard to get it. And one more thing, I lived that feeling as well. When I became, GM of Turkey, I got sick. I have, blood pressure, tension, this and that, many migraine attacks, much more than, today, because I feel like if I wouldn't be successful, then female would be, penalized because she is she. I mean, a female GM, that's why it didn't happen. Actually, nobody was thinking like this. It was my thought and pressurize myself. So that's why I'm saying yes and no, and I'm with Aparna, but you should know yourself, I mean, where to develop, but also if you feel insecure, get help from your friends, from your, team leaders, and be open about it. Not thrown with that water. Okay.
Thank you so much, Banu, for sharing those thoughts. So being so candid and sharing your experiences with the open heart, so that everyone who are here listening to both of you gain a real wisdom from whatever that you are sharing from purely your experiences. And so since because of lack of time, we will not be able to take other questions. Maybe we will share those questions separately as and when we get from the team over here. But I take this opportunity to thank both of you, the leaders who have achieved so much in your professional journey, made your family so proud, and also making now today Hilti family also feel proud and looking forward to achieve many things in their day-to-day work that they're going to do. I think the session last, I remember when like people are also sharing their experiences while we are talking. How are they feeling? I remember one of the audience shared last time that when we are talking about biases, we move from women-related problem to human-related problem. Right? It is not that only women that has an issue, but it is all of us that have an issues. So, and that's the importance of having such powerful discussions from leaders like you. Really, on behalf of Hilti India, thank you so much, Aparna, to take out your time from the busy schedule. And thank you so much, Banu, for, with the migraine attack and all of that, but still you saved your time and you are here with us. And shared your experiences. Right. Thank you so much. Any thoughts
you.
from both of you? We can conclude the call.
I mean, I just want to thank you, and I really like this Own It group and the effort. I enjoy being with you, and I also enjoy meeting with you, Aparna, and learn from you. It was a great experience for me, and thank you letting me being part of it.
Yeah, likewise, glad to be part of the discussion. Thank you all.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you all. Take care. Thank
Can
you.
we
Thank
just
you.
So we should take a pic. We should
Yeah,
take a pic
okay.
Yeah,
together.
that can
I
be
love
done.
pictures as well.
So who is taking the picture? Let me also take.
Whoever is available on call can switch on their cameras. We can
Yeah,
take
yeah,
a
yeah,
big,
guys.
beautiful picture.
Yeah,
Collage.
it'll be nice.
Yeah, it's great to see the faces, smiley faces.
Yeah.
So Anu, are you
Great.
doing the honor of taking the pictures of everybody?
Sure.
So many faces, so many humans, learned so many things today from the leaders. And I feel privileged to be part of an organization which also believes and does walk the talk, taking the business hours Friday and then inviting everybody to be part of such a discussion. And I think it's truly walk the talk, spending time on these sort of discussions. Right. So, pick taken.
Anu, you
Sandeep?
have to let us know. Anu, you have to let us know.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I
Thank you
keep
so much.
smiling so that, the
Because I
face-
have been, I was in same position for Swan. Thank you.
You
for-
can maybe share in the same group chat, Anu, and then people are aware. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Because I will use that photo also for my Yammer post to my team as well. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Banu, for that. Means a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a
Thank you.
great
Bye.
Thank you,
weekend.
Aparna. Thank you,
Great
Banu.
weekend.
Wish
you,
you all the
everyone.
luck and
Thank you.
success. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.